launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air. Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
Technical difficulties. Drop my microphone. Hate when that happens. Welcome to the JP Peterson Show. We got a great show for you today, as always. Going to be a lot of me and Nick today. Talking about tons of stories. So many good stories to get into today, from what the hell happened with Byron Leftwich in Jacksonville and what's next for him and the Buccaneers and what the hell's going on in the NFL. A lot of great NFL stories. More interest in possibly having Russell Wilson available in Seattle. Is this becoming more of an option for the Buccaneers and other teams? We'll talk about that as well. St. Pete Mayor Ken Welch put out a very interesting tweet last night that he has met with the Rays and they are engaging in talks to keep Rays in St. Petersburg, as predicted here on the JP Peterson Show. What a disaster. So we're going to get into that, obviously, and tell you why that is not a good idea for anyone and why it's a waste of time. And nothing against St. Pete or Mayor Welch at all, but we'll explain that as well. Daniel Snyder and the Washington Commanders. Boy, that just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? In more hot water, Major League Baseball hiring a federal mediator, or asking one to come in to get the season started on time. We've got turmoil in the PGA Tour. Will the PGA Tour last for very long? Nothing major going on in sports. We have the Olympics starting in the most bizarre of situations that I can ever recall in Olympic history. We're going to get into that. Did I miss anything? I mean, is that all that's going on in sports? Nick Geddes, Outkick.com, joining me this morning. What's up, partner?
I mean, you might stay tuned, because who knows what else is going to come down. I mean, even when the local scene might not be as hot as it was maybe 2 weeks ago, we have a lot of topical stuff to get to today.
By the way, did you watch any of the skills competition last night?
No, it's a no for me.
I watched like 5 minutes. They had this thing where they're trying to emulate the dunk contest with the greatest catch.
Yes.
And they had guys like trying to take the ball, put it under their legs, and then catch a ball one-handed. And I think it was Jefferson was doing it. I was like, why are you making these guys? There was like no crowd there.
Yeah. Did you see what Stephon Diggs did?
It was just bizarre. It was like, what are we doing?
Did you see Stephon Diggs?
No.
Of course, I'm a hater of Bill's Mafia now.
Of course you are.
He had a nice ode to Bill's Mafia. They set up a table underneath, and he caught it, and then he jumped right through a table.
Oh, well, that's
about
actually
10,
somewhat
15
interesting. I would have tuned in for that.
I didn't
about
get
10 or 15 feet?
Yeah.
He jumped onto a table?
He jumped right through the table.
Really?
Yeah, through it. Right through it.
Boy, I bet the Bills are excited to see that. No chance of injuring himself doing that at all.
No.
Is he? Seriously?
Yeah.
Boy, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Well, then again.
Hey, but you know what I did watch, though? A little
What?
video this morning of Russell Wilson and the accuracy competition where they're throwing at those targets. Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
And I believe he won that.
He wins that like every year.
Oh, he was freaking amazing. Yeah. And I was like, that's the Bucs quarterback
That's
right
my
there.
guy. That's my guy right there. Yeah. Pretty accurate. No question about it. I did not watch a whole lot of it after that, but
no, I was not watching the dodgeball.
No,
I
what, they had dodgeball?
Yeah, they always have dodgeball. That's the staple.
No, thanks. You were telling me a story about something going on in Auburn with Brian Harsin.
Oh my goodness.
Brian Harsin brings his own sugar baby to Auburn with him, and he's a married man, allegedly. And all the players are leaving out of the portal. What the hell's going on there? Dumpster fire there. Florida State hires a GM. Florida State football has hired a GM, which I actually think is a pretty good idea to handle, quote, roster management.
What is going on?
I like it.
I can't keep up anymore. I really can't.
What happened to our just simple sports world,
Sports
man?
used to be so simple. I mean,
we got Shaq yelling at some CBS newswoman about the forced vaccine, which he's absolutely right. And I'm like, go Shaq, go Shaq. I mean, this is the menu on the sports show today. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's get into it. First things first, Byron Leftwich removed his name for consideration for the Jaguars job. And the scuttlebutt is that he did not want to work with Trent Baalke, the general manager in Jacksonville. He's only been there a year. He came in with Urban Meyer, and the ill-fated Urban Meyer decision. And so Shad Khan, in his incredible wisdom, said, no, you got to work with this guy. And he wanted to bring in his own guy, Adrian Wilson from Arizona. And so for Byron Leftwich, and I applaud him for doing this, he went to the mat for his beliefs because, as we've seen, these owners don't necessarily set guys up for success for whatever reason. And Shad Khan has obviously shown that he has no aptitude whatsoever for hiring people to make a successful football team. He's clueless. But he's going to stick to his guns in this situation and think that he's smarter than Byron Leftwich as far as what would be successful for the team moving forward. I mean, I heard they were begging Leftwich to take the job. He's like, I'm not going to work with that guy. And first of all, when that gets out, how could you possibly then take the job and then work with the guy? I mean, that's already like a non-starter. But yet Shad Khan once again, it's these rich, powerful guys like, I know better. I'm smarter than you. I'm in control. This is the way it's going to go. Now, I know they hired Doug Peterson, who's a Super Bowl winning coach. I get it. And some could say, well, they got a better coach. Okay, maybe not. Yes, he did win a Super Bowl. No question about that. But he also got fired or left or whatever. Things soured in Philadelphia. So it's not like he's, he won a Super Bowl. He's a slam dunk to win another Super Bowl. No, not so fast. But I get it. But still, I don't necessarily think was that a much better choice than Byron Leftwich? I mean, that remains to be seen when Byron finally gets a job. But what to me more than anything, it's a rich owner saying, I'm not going, even though I want you as my head coach, your decisions right now, I'm hiring you for what you know and your decision making, but yet your most important decision, I'm going to just remove that because I want Trent Baalke to be my GM. I mean, what sense does that make?
Do I have to run down Trent Baalke's resume as a GM?
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
This guy was responsible for basically running Jim Harbaugh back to college.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take that. First.
The most successful coach in 49ers history.
3 conference championships in 4 years.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, his winning percentage.
Yeah, 3 conference championships in 4 years and a Super Bowl appearance. Ran him out of the NFL. Hires Jim Tomsula. Fired after 1 year.
Great choice. Who didn't think that was going to work out?
Then it makes another splash. Chip Kelly.
Oh, that worked out really well.
Yeah. A year. Fired.
Right.
Finally fired. Out of football, by the way, for 4 years. Nobody wanted this guy.
Of course not.
Shad Khan says, be our general manager. Be our general manager. And we'll hire Urban Meyer just for you. And we all know how that ended. That's 4 head coaches in a span of 7 years as a GM that he's gone through. Now 5.
What's the common denominator? Him and losing.
And in a bad culture.
And bad choices and bad cultures. But that's the guy I'm going to hold on to and shun Byron Leftwich. I mean, think about this for a second. How stupid can you be?
And given everything that's gone on this week, an optics standpoint here,
right?
Horrendous. But I'm not surprised that it's the Jaguars that have taken the cake here for these optics. No,
I'm not either. But again, you kind of save face by hiring a Super Bowl winning coach in Doug Peterson, who I think is a really good coach and a really good guy and created a great culture in Philadelphia. And won a Super Bowl there.
Yeah, granted,
I have nothing bad to say about Doug Peterson, but the optics with Brian Flores making his charges, which we have both agreed have merit, no question about it. And now this happening to Byron Leftwich. Now, Leftwich is I believe he's still considered a candidate for the Saints job, but you're telling me scuttlebutt is not so much.
No, it looks like they're down to Dennis Allen and the Lions defensive coordinator, I think is where they're probably going.
All right.
So I think he might be out of the running everywhere.
So at this point, we've had 9 openings.
Yeah.
We've got what? 5 hirings?
6.
6 hirings. All white guys.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's preposterous. It's just, it's unthinkable. And especially in this particular situation where you have a highly sought after coordinator who basically, I want to say take it off the market, but I think most other franchises thought, okay, he's going to Jacksonville. We got to look elsewhere. So kind of kept him from going other places and strung him along because I'm sure Leftwich is probably thinking to himself, there's no way this idiot is going to stick with this guy when he wants me as the head coach and I'm just asking to bring in a general manager that I'm comfortable working with. And clearly this guy's resume is a freaking dumpster fire. Like Leftwich is probably saying, well, come on, he's not going to do that. I mean, that's just stupid. That's what he did.
But I applaud Byron Leftwich though
yes.
for whatever, because you know what this does? I mean, if Bruce Arians, I think likely this is probably his last year of coaching. We'd probably think. And this goes back into your theory that you've always said all along, coach and waiting. Well,
thank you.
Now it just seems like it could be a seamless transition. I mean, Why would you go and take a job that has bad circumstances, bad organization, bad leadership, bad players, and try to make it work? I think, and DeMeco Ryans for San Francisco did the same thing. He interviewed all around and said, "I'm going to keep waiting." And I think that's what you got to do. You don't have to go to bad situations if you don't want to. You don't.
No, and please don't hit me with, well, the black coaches want jobs. They're getting offered jobs and they won't take them. No. I mean, in this situation, and that's what somebody can say from the outside about this situation in Jacksonville, not knowing the inner workings of it. And absolutely, it's we've gotten it's so ridiculous now that we've gotten to the point that we want to actually get hired, but we don't want to be hired to be fired. We don't want to be set up for failure. We want to go into situations like any other. Like, can you remember another coach that was going to get a gig and the owner said, I would like to, work with another general manager. I have somebody in mind. And the owner said no. I mean, there might be a situation like that. I just don't remember it. I mean, when there's a hot head coaching guy, and I would consider Leftwich a hot head coaching guy, having worked with Brady now for 2 years, having been a coordinator, calling the plays, and listen, we've also said, we're not going to be hypocrites here. We've also said that there are times when I think Leftwich's offense seems very uncreative. It seems very blah. But, again, it's when you have Tom Brady, you kind of put things in his hands. And if sometimes things don't work because he's under pressure or whatever, for whatever reason. So the bottom line is Leftwich, oversaw the number one offense in the league the last couple of years. I mean, that's.
Yeah, at the end of the day, no matter how I feel about him, because I've said the same thing, I don't think he's ready to be a head coach. You can't deny. I mean,
Leftwich?
Yeah, at this moment.
You don't think he's ready to be a head coach?
Not at this moment, I don't. But you can't deny that he's probably earned the opportunity to get a look, to get it. Let's find out. I could say that all I want, but we haven't seen it.
Right.
And I think, like I said, I think this entire week we've seen precedents set of guys who are much less qualified than Byron Leftwich who've been given a chance, right?
Yes.
And I think
they're
that's
usually white guys.
And that's the bigger point here. Is that Byron Leftwich deserves that shot as much as everybody else does, in my opinion. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sitting here and thinking that he's going to be a slam dunk great head coach. I don't know that. I mean, because it's very much similar, but, you can look at situation with Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy was hired. He had never called plays before. He was, you're working with great talent, and you get, same with some of these Rams offensive coordinators that are getting jobs as well. I mean, you've got great talent. You've got a head coach that's calling the plays and doing everything. I mean, how hard is that job? And Leftwich has Tom Brady, has Mike Evans, has all this talent, has Bruce Arians, but he was at least calling the plays. And from what you hear from Brady, from what you hear from the players, we've listened to Byron Leftwich, his press conferences. It was just a guy that's very much in charge. He's beloved by the players. I mean, he seems like he's got what it takes to be a good head coach. Whether he's going to be successful, nobody knows.
I'll give you a great example right here. So I just thought of this. Remember Peyton Manning when he went to the Broncos?
Mm-hmm.
Remember who his OC was
No.
during that big year, the 55 touchdowns?
No.
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase. Yeah. Ooh,
Adam Gase.
Wackadoodle.
Yeah.
Wackadoodle.
My point there.
Big guy Adam Gase.
My point there is Adam Gase worked with Peyton Manning, and that got him a head coaching job.
Yeah.
Byron Leftwich has 2 years working with the greatest player the sport's ever known.
Yeah.
I think he's earned an opportunity if Adam Gase did.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I think it's very comparable.
But the other part of that is Adam Gase didn't work out so well.
No, he did not.
No.
I understand.
But then you look at it on his face. Adam Gase, you don't hear people talk about Adam Gase the way they talk about Byron Leftwich.
No, it's a completely
how
different.
relatable he is and all the, so it's a completely different situation. The bottom line is, as you have said, these guys need to get opportunities and see what happens. But it doesn't look like Leftwich is going to get that opportunity. And I think, I said this months ago, I think it would be a great situation for the Buccaneers to do that. I know it's never been done before in the NFL, never been done. But if Arians does want to coach one more year, and I'm not even sure that he does. I mean, look at, the Achilles injury that he has. He may have to have that surgically repaired. Folks, I know people that have gone through that at an older age. You're in bed for like a month, if not more. I mean, it is a ridiculously hard injury and affliction in this case, to overcome at his age. And Bruce has had health issues. I mean, if I'm the Bucs, and this is not, I don't want to sound crass or cold in any way, but if I'm the Buccaneers and I'm going to be looking for a head coach next year, and I got Byron Leftwich right here, and he's very popular among the teammates. The guys love working with him. I mean, am I not going to be a little bit proactive and say, first of all, I'm going to have a serious conversation with Bruce Arians and says, is this your last year? Because if it is, and I got this guy right here, I kind of would like, and you've wanted him to be a head coach for so long. Do you want to step down? Do you want to say this is your last year and he's going to be the head coach? I've said this and mentioned it to many people in the NFL, even on this show, and they act like I'm a complete idiot. Is that the dumbest idea ever? I
don't doubt that those conversations have taken place. I don't. I
would hope they're taking place.
I always thought that was Bruce's master plan. Was let me finish my contract or go 4 years, whatever, and then Byron would take over.
Well, I think he was always thinking that these guys would get jobs other places, but
this is best case scenario.
Why not here?
And even going and relating this to as it pertains to next year's success and what they're going to do at quarterback, if you've got an opportunity where both your coordinators are sticking in, that should be all that more, for Jason Licht to go, okay, I got to swing big again. If we're going to get these guys all for at least one more year together from a coaching staff standpoint, then let me go get the best I can get at quarterback. I think that probably could change their philosophy too.
And if you're Russell Wilson, okay, and you're talking, or I don't think Aaron Rodgers is an option here, but if you're Russell Wilson and you're talking to the Bucs about their situation, and they say, well, he's 33 years old, he wants another contract, right? His contract runs out in 2 years. He'd want obviously a new deal that's going to take him, into his late 30s. Well, who's the coach going to be? We don't know. Aaron's probably one more year, and then that indecision is not going to help him want to come here at all. Now, if you said, well, Arians is going to be the coach this year, and then Byron Leftwich is going to be the coach afterwards, at least he, whether he likes Byron or not, I would think he would. Being Byron being a quarterback, having great success with Brady, I think that would be something in the Bucs' favor to get Russell Wilson.
I think he would love it, be a match made, because what's been the Achilles heel of the Seahawks offense the entire Russell Wilson tenure?
Offensive line.
One. Number two, they don't let him throw it enough.
That's true, too.
And if you're coming to a Byron Leftwich, Bruce Arians offense, you're throwing that thing 40, 50 times a game.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand. I mean, he's got DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Well, you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Right.
So there's nothing changing them from that standpoint. And you got a hell of a lot better defense. And you got, at this moment, a hell of a lot better culture. I think it's like, if you're Russell Wilson, how do you not look at Tampa Bay?
Yeah, especially with that coaching scenario, because he's going to want to know this. Obviously, there's going to be some stability in the coaching staff, and what a better way to do that? for Bruce to step away right away. And not necessarily advocating that if it's something he wants to do, if he wants to coach one more year. But if you could also say this is his last year and then Byron's going to take over as the head coach. I mean, I know it's never been done. I hate to quote Stu Sternberg here, but sometimes you got to be the first. And sometimes people don't want to be the first. But, if I'm the Buccaneers, that's something that I'm seriously considering. And today is the day to talk about that. I better tweet it out so we get credit for this because when it happens, right? Because just because we say it on the show evidently is not enough. All right. Other issues we need to get to. We have to at least acknowledge the hiring of Doug Peterson here as well and what that does for the Jaguars. I think it's a good move for them. I do think it's a good move, but having Trent Baalke there, I don't think it's going to make this a successful situation. I just don't. I as much as I like Peterson, how could Doug Peterson, want to embrace that situation? I mean, I'm trying to think of what didn't he have a rift with Howie Roseman in Philadelphia? Isn't that kind of why he left?
I believe so. I think there was an issue about what to do at quarterback.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz saga. So
yeah.
I don't know. He doesn't. I mean, he has his flaws. Let's be honest. I mean, he's a Super Bowl winning head coach. There's a lot of guys who are Super Bowl winning head coaches who I don't think we can attribute all the success to. But he still has the pedigree. And Jacksonville is. To me, it's not swinging as big as Urban Meyer. Obviously, it's a little bit more safe from that standpoint. But
smarter.
It's smarter. But I mean, you're going to pair him with Trevor Lawrence, a guy who's actually learned how to win and learned how to lose in this game. I still think it is one of the better hires of the coaching cycle, regardless.
Yeah, he's got experience as a head coach, and he's won a Super Bowl with that on a resume. As far as Jacksonville goes, that's about as credible anything they have in their organization right now, because they can claim a Super Bowl winning coach, but they still have an owner that's a complete moron. I mean, he might be a nice guy, but the decisions he makes, the way he runs his team, he's clueless. He's clueless. He might be a nice guy and a rich guy, but have a really nice mustache, but dude is clueless. All right, I want to get to in our first segment here, the situation with the Rays. This is going to blow up today. We were kind of on it yesterday or last night. Good. Kyle Tucker is going to join us at 11:30 today. Good. I'm responding on the air to him. Yes. If you don't know who Kyle Tucker is, he had 30 bombs for the Astros last year, played at Plant High School. I played golf with him last week. A wonderful young man, and he's got a fundraiser coming up, so we're going to get him on at 11:30. So last night, Mayor Ken Welch tweeted out, I want to get the exact tweet here, if I may. Love just doing this on the air. Oh, you know what? I think I'll just paraphrase it. Basically, he says they've talked to the Rays, and the council, I guess, has talked to the Rays. Oh, you do? Thank you. You're such a good producer. Kent Welch tweeting out last night, St. Pete is back in the game! ! I was excited to meet yesterday with the Rays and county leadership. Together with our city council and community partners, we have re-engaged with urgency to keep baseball in the Sunshine City. # we are St. Pete. Major sigh. Just among the replies from Mayamo Chris, whatever. St. Pete has failed for 20 plus years. All you're doing now is giving Stu more leverage to use against Tampa instead of doing what is right for Tampa Bay. # move the Rays to Tampa is the only way. 100% correct. From # Rays up, enough. Move the Rays to Tampa. Good news. Now you should work on increasing violent crime issues on the increasing violent crime issue in your city. John from We Want the Rays in Tampa. Ebor's side is perfect for the Rays. No more 7K Tuesday night attendance when KC comes to town. Lightning proves fan supports Sports and Channel side. The only site that remotely makes sense for Pinellas is Derby Lane, if that area can be developed, but still, it's the best of a bad scenario. Stupid to say St. Pete hasn't worked since the inception. Beating a dead horse. What? Stupid to stay in St. Pete. Just beating a dead horse. Yep. Years ago, Stu floated an idea for a new park on the water at Al Lang's site. Residents were against it. Remember the signs? Driving to the Trop back then, signs are just having every lawn sign saying no to a new park. Develop Trop, get tax revenue back, and stop with this illusion. 100%. Like, this is... And frankly, I predicted this was going to happen because this is right out of Stu's playbook. And for the life of me, I can't understand. Listen, well, I guess politically, Kent Welch is coming in. He's the new mayor. And by the way, I've not met Kent, but I've talked to Ken Hagan about him and everybody else, and everybody loves this guy. He's a super positive man. I think he has obviously the best intentions in mind here for St. Petersburg. You're the mayor of a city. You don't want to, necessarily lose a baseball team. But there's bigger things at play here. And I know a lot of you get tired of hearing it so many times, but we do have new listeners each and every day. So we have to kind of go over some of the data that makes this, what we're talking about correct. 670,000 people within a 30-minute drive of St. Petersburg. And that number is not going up dramatically because there's no place to build. Okay. It may reach 700,000 or 800,000, maybe if you pack more people in downtown St. Pete. But again, a lot of them are retirees. Are these the people that really go to the games? People that live next to the stadium don't go to the games over there. It is a failed location. Major League Baseball has a minimum of 1.2 million people within a 30-minute distance. It does not meet that standard, and it doesn't even come close, and it never will. If you build a stadium there, it's going to cost you $1 billion on that Trop site. You are precluding yourself from putting something there like a convention center that's actually going to bring more people in and make your city more money. It is a better return on investment. We know that. It doesn't matter what kind of beautiful stadium you build. It's a location issue. And this Major League Baseball has told the Rays, you cannot build in St. Petersburg. They have told them that. They are not going to allow them to build a stadium there. Stu Sternberg is lying to your face. He has no intentions of building in St. Pete. This is just a negotiating ploy. It's the same thing he's done to every other mayor. Please, don't take the bait. Don't do it. Don't do it. But you will. Because it's a shiny thing and it looks great and you think it's a thing for citizens. It's not. It's not. You're going to waste money when you could be making money at that site. It's just, and it's never going to happen. He's going to lead you down this road for another 2 years just to play it out and get more leverage against Tampa and Major League Baseball to get closer to the deadline when he can get a better deal. It's all a ploy. Don't let him use you. Say thank you. You've had a great run here. We appreciate it. But what's best for the city of St. Pete, and Mayor Welch, you know this better than anybody. In the gasworks area there or the gas plant area there where these black families were displaced to build the Trop. Rebuild it there. Renew that energy. Do what's best for your citizens. That's going to bring them more economic impact than a failed baseball stadium. That's going to be a white elephant. It would be the biggest mistake of your political career. And you look magnanimous if you say, look, the better vision for the Tampa Bay area as a whole is for us to redevelop this site with things we really need, like affordable housing and more housing and residential and more retail that can impact this city for decades to come and provide more jobs. That's what's best for your citizens. The ego of having a Major League Baseball team is not what you want to go after. And it's better for the entire region, Mayor Welch, for Tampa Bay and everybody else, if you allow them to go over to Tampa Bay and just tell Stu, we're not going to play your game, man. We're not going to play your game. You're not going to hold us up from redeveloping the Trop. Although he does have veto rights and can do that and has done that. But put the pressure on Stu Sternberg to finally do the right thing. Finally do the right thing. Stop holding up the development of the Trop with outrageous demands of 100% of the proceeds like you did in the first time. Again, something that's been totally glossed over by any of the local media. These outrageous demands by Stu Sternberg because he has veto power. And keeping the city of St. Pete from doing what they should be doing for their citizens, so he can put more money in his pocket and get more leverage. Call him out on that. Ken Welch. Call him out on that instead of playing his stupid game. All right, when we come back, you'll hear from some other voices other than mine telling you why St. Petersburg is a very bad idea. And it has nothing to do with the city of St. Pete, which is an amazing city and does not need a baseball stadium. We'll talk about that when we come back. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle, proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636 or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-threes, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. If you have any issues with stormwater damage or sinkhole damage, stucco damage on the outside of your house, if you have those cracks, can get into the wood and can cause a lot of damage to your house, especially if you have a frame house in that area. So call Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at PalermoPA.com, the website. That's the easiest way to do it. And he'll give you a free consultation and let you know if you have a case. If you've had issues with your homeowner's insurance company, even if you've already finished your claim, give him a call and he can let you know if there is any action that you can take against them as well. Because a lot of times they'll law you take the offer. And anyway, it's best to talk to an attorney, and it's best to talk to Christopher Palermo, who is an expert in that field. So go to PalermoPA.com and get all the information you need right there. All right. Kyle Tucker is going to join us at 11:30 today, former Plant and Hyde first-round draft pick, and now playing with the Astros, hit 30 home runs, 93 RBIs last year. Also got a vote for MVP, got a 10th place vote for an MVP. I don't think I've ever played golf with a guy who's had an MVP vote. That's that was pretty sweet. And he's a budding superstar and one of the nicest young men. He's got a great fundraiser coming up next Sunday. We're going to talk about that and his career and growing up here in baseball, and also ask him about playing at the Trop. We had a nice conversation about that. You hear players talk about how much that turf bothers them. Wait till you hear him talk about it, and you'll understand why people hate playing at the Trop. All right, so as I was mentioning, one of the fact that St. Pete is, quote, back in the game, according to Ken Welch. All this does, from a fan's perspective, is delay the approval of the site. And of course, for Stu, it's simply playing one city against the other, trying to get a better deal, knowing full well that he'll never choose St. Petersburg. And the worst part about it is the people of Tampa. I mean, Ken Hagan knows this. Ken Hagan has talked to the people in Major League Baseball. He knows that they're not going to build in St. Pete. So it's a dog and pony show, just like the Sister City scheme. Now, we had David Sampson on last week, or was that earlier this week? It's earlier this week. He was the president of the Marlins, went through the whole situation of getting the Marlins their new ballpark. So certainly knows these relocation issues inside and out better than anybody. Also has a great podcast called Nothing Personal, very outspoken. So we had him on earlier this week, and this is the cut about St. Pete. Well, we'll hear the question. Here we go.
Off the rails.
David Sampson joining us here for the Nothing Personal podcast. Is a must listen. You guys got to follow it and subscribe. And to that end, explain to the folks why the Rays aren't moving. This is a market that Major League Baseball does not want to leave. It's the 11th largest market, maybe in the top 10 in the next couple of years. And these other that people about Nashville and Vegas and all these, the other owners are not going to let him go there and take up what would be an expansion city where they can get $1 billion, $1.5 billion in expansion fees and split that money. And besides, I don't think Stu's up for a $500 million relocation fee. He's not going anywhere. This team is not going anywhere. And I think Tampa's going to step up and give them half for the stadium, and they should get the deal done. Talk about the relocation aspect.
So you've got a choice. You trying to get a new ballpark and you have no place to play. And it should be noted that when you buy a Major League Baseball team, you sign an agreement with Major League Baseball as a franchisee, which is what all teams are. And one of the responsibilities you have is you must have a place to play. And it has to be a Major League quality facility. So in other words, in baseball, you sign an agreement that in Arizona, the Coyotes did not sign, or else they would not even be pondering playing in that college rink where they're thinking of playing in Arizona with the capacity of 5,000 people. So if you have a place to play, you can lose your franchise. So the lease runs out in 2027. So in 2028, Sternberg has to be somewhere. And that's why he started, and it didn't matter when he started 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, because it wasn't necessarily on the front burner, but now it is.
Yep.
And if you can't get a deal done and a building open in 28, you have two choices. You sign an extension for the Thunderdome, or I keep calling it the Thunderdome, by the way.
It's
now
fine.
probably
I love
kind
it.
of field of
I love it.
That I grew up, that to me, it's always the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
When we would go there, totally detour side note, which I love doing on Nothing Personal. We, as a visiting team executive, we would get a box right sort of between home plate and third base to where we would watch the games. And it was decently high up. And when storms would roll through, and I was used to them living in Miami,
right,
the thunder and the sound of it was so startling that I would ask the players, do they hear it during the game and does it impact them? And normally players say they don't hear much that goes on during a game because they're so locked in. But in Tampa, in the Thunderdome, there were people who were scared of it. Like they thought the building was going to collapse sometimes.
Yeah.
That's how crazy the Thunderdome was. But in any case, if you don't get an extension with the Thunderdome, then you need to relocate. But to relocate, you have to get permission from the owners.
Right.
And then you have to pay what's called the relocation fee. And to pay a relocation fee, that is going to be an amount of money that Stu Sternberg is not going to be willing to pay because it will not financially make sense.
Exactly.
Because when you relocate, not only do you pay the fee, you still have to build the ballpark where you're relocating.
That's right.
And that deal to build the ballpark has to be done before you relocate. So the most likely scenario is a deal gets done in Tampa. The second most likely scenario is Stuart Sternberg sells the team to a local buyer like a Jeff Finnick, who gets a deal done in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And the third most likely other scenario is that he sells the team to someone who will move the team, who's willing to invest the $1 billion expansion fee that you referenced before,
Right.
because current owners are not going to give up that stream of revenue, especially post-COVID, that they can get from expansion. They're not going to give it up to allow one of their own to relocate.
100% agree with you. With a minute we have left, do you think eventually this is going to get done in Tampa? I do. I think this Ybor City situation is perfect for them. It's in the middle of the market. There'll be 2.4 million people within a 30-minute drive. With by 2026, I think they're projecting when the stadium would be done. It seems like that everything is right here, an exploding market for it to get done, and MLB does not want to leave this market.
I agree with you. I think the team stays in Tampa. I think the A's stay in Oakland, and I think Nashville, Portland, San Antonio, Montreal, they will all be played against each other to pay the largest expansion fee when baseball expands to 32. And believe me, we've been working on expansion since 3 years before I got let go by the Marlins back in 2017. So that has been on the table, and the owners want that stream of revenue. They already have the larger broadcast deals that are baked into their current financials, but this expansion revenue would be extra additional capital that they'd want to pay down debt incurred during these past few years. That's what I think will happen.
There you go. I mean, as I've always said through this whole scenario, and we've been right on just about every step of the way. Follow the money, folks. Follow the money, follow the market. This is where it will lead you. Major League Baseball is not going to let them go to another market. And I wish people would stop talking about this. And they're not going to let them build in St. Petersburg. You heard it from a guy right there who's been in these owners' meetings, inside these meetings when they're talking about expansion and relocation, and went through the stadium. He knows what he's talking about, David Sampson. Y'all can take shots at me, but these are the people I talk to. These are the people I get the information from. And this is why we've told you where this is headed. And this development here with the Rays using Ken Welch, go talk to Bill Foster about this. We'll get Bill Foster on the show and let him talk about it. He thinks they're leaving the markets, which I completely disagree with. He needs to listen to David Sampson there. But he also knows that they're not going to build in St. Pete. It's never, ever, ever going to happen. And he was used. Kreisman was used. I mean, they all have been used by Stu Sternberg. And Ken Welch is just the next guy on the list. And I hope he understands what's going on here and doesn't allow Stu to play one city against the other. And I'm disappointed in Major League Baseball, frankly. And I don't know if they've signed on to this. They may not even know about this. It kind of feels like Stu's being a little brat. Do you have the clip in from the press conference? Because I wanted to play this because my question to him, I asked him, don't mess around with St. Pete and all these other options. Come on, man. Can you just commit? And he does. He basically, this is why we thought he would do this. He basically said, you know what? Got to look at St. Pete and got to look around. He knows damn well, just like the sister city scheme, it's never going to happen. It's just a negotiating ploy. He's lying to you again. So listen to his response.
JP Peterson.
Hey, Stu.
Why not thanks for all your. Just kidding, Jim. Sorry.
Just trying to give the voice to the fans, Stu. Listen, why not just take this opportunity to embrace Tampa Bay and the fans? I mean, you have said that Ybor City is a perfect site. You've said this is a viable market. The fans clearly want you here. It's Ken Hagan has told us that there's a lot of support for paying for half the stadium and you paying for half the stadium, just like the Rangers and Braves did. Why can't you just tell the community right now and move forward and embrace the community as a whole, bring everyone together and say, I'll pay for half, you pay for half. Our market is exploding. We have great momentum. It's just been named the best sports city in Tampa Bay. Let's all get on this train together and move forward. Why not just make that move and declare now that you're not going to look at moving to another market and just go all in with us now.
Oh, I did exactly what you're suggesting 3 years ago. And as I say, we do learn from our mistakes a little bit.
Lie.
It doesn't mean we can't change our approach. But let's, it didn't happen 50 years ago. It was 3 years ago. We tried that and it didn't come close, quite frankly. So perhaps this time through in our approach and the region's approach going through, and as you say, Ybor and Ken Hagen, it's a whole region. The people here in St. Petersburg have been and our fans and the leaders here, almost to a person, have been incredibly supportive throughout all of this.
Incredibly supportive.
They have
Like
other plans as well,
games?
I'm sure. So when the time comes, we'll hear everything out.
All right, that's enough. They've been incredibly supportive in St. Pete. The people in St. Pete don't go to the games, and they live there. That's the biggest problem with the attendance. And it's funny how all the people, and I hate pitting one area against the other, but it just seems laughable that on social media, these people, the folks in St. Pete are always yelling at the people at Tampa, "Oh, why don't you come over the bridge?" Well, why don't you go to the games? It's right there. It's so few people actually go to the games that live in St. Pete. More people come from Hillsborough. So why don't you move the stadium to where the people are, like the Braves did? Wonderful success. It's just, it's laughable that people would take this on face value. And I'll predict this as well. Tomorrow, the Times, and I hope I'm wrong, the Times will come out with a column, probably John Romano, talking about how wonderful St. Pete is and they're back in the game and this could be a game changer, blah, 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 knowing damn well that's not the case. But they'll be told to do so by Stu Sternberg because they write whatever he wants them to write for whatever reason. And that's what's going to come out. They'll support it wholeheartedly, and they'll jump in with Kent Welch, and they'll get this party going. Like, oh, look at this beautiful rendition that we can put in the Trop site. It's absolutely disingenuous. It's completely disingenuous. And what's worse is it's terrible for the fan, because what this does is it extends out for probably another year, maybe a year and a half. Getting a real stadium done and getting us into a new stadium, which is what all the fans want. Nobody wants to go to the Trop anymore. Nobody wants the location of the Trop anymore. It's it's done. It's failed. We've got to move forward with a bold vision, and it's not even that bold. It's as obvious as the nose on your face. 2.4 million people within a 30-minute distance, or at most 750,000. What's going to work better? And when you've got 20 plus years of evidence that location does not work. It's silly. Mayor Welch, please don't take the bait. All right, we'll take another break. When we come back, we're going to get into some NFL news. The coaching changes. Who's next to get hired? We talked a little bit about Byron Leftwich, what's going on in New Orleans. They need a quarterback as well. So we'll hit that when we come back. Stay with us. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now, so go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636 or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. Also brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. Valentine's Day is coming up, kids. It's a great time to get your beautiful incredible engagement ring at the Golden Diamond Source. Like I sent my man Nick over here to a few months ago. It was a great experience. He walked in. I believe it was Troy that took care of you, right? Troy took care of you and brought him inside, showed him everything. It was obviously your heart rate was up, I'm sure. It's like very, very nervous, but not for long. Made him feel very, very comfortable, got something in his price range. And, if you could only remember that it was 5 years ago today that you met your fiance and not screw it up. Maybe you should say something on the public airwaves that'll get you out of some hot water as we do the Golden Diamond Source read here. Honey, you remember that ring I got from the Golden Diamond Source? No, nothing. You got nothing. This is your opportunity here. You're speaking to the world, a worldwide audience. To tell the worldwide what a wonderful, beautiful fiance you have in Casey.
I do, but here's the thing: my brain can only work so much, and it's hard enough to remember one date. And we have a fresh new engagement date, which will become your anniversary for right now.
That's right.
There's too many dates, man. So when today, the date that we actually started dating when we were in high school came up, yeah, it did slip my mind. And I was reminded this morning at about 10:30 because I had not said anything yet. So
if I had a sound effect of a shovel digging, I would hit it right now. Because what you're saying is 100% correct, but it's not working in your favor. As you get older, you learn that it's much better to just fess up instead of be right.
And I even said
you're 100% right, but
I'm getting the cold shoulder too right now. I even said, "Well, let's go out."
This is your opportunity.
I even said, "Well, let's go out and celebrate." And I'm still waiting for a response here.
No,
so.
she'll let you sit for a while. Don't worry. Concentrate on your job. Casey, stop doing that to him. But anyway, the Golden Diamond Source worked out well. It really did. That was the whole point of the story. So if you're thinking about popping the question, make sure you write down the date that you first actually met and celebrate that as well, because you'll be required to do so. And also remember when you gave her that beautiful ring from the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. That's like a 3-minute live read they just got out of that, and a wonderful story too. So
I'm sure they'll enjoy it.
I hope they appreciate that. Oh, how about our Golden Player of the Week this week? I'm going to give it to Hedman. Let's give it to Hedman with the game-winning goal the other night, and and just also as a lifetime achievement award or season achievement award in the first half. He's been freaking amazing, and we get to see him play at the All-Star game this week and the skills competition coming up today.
I had a different nominee.
Who?
I was going to give it to Stamkos. He was pretty good this week as well. Okay. And he's been great. He's been the best
He didn't
player.
even score the other night.
But I'm giving it, we're at the All-Star break. I'm almost consider it Golden Diamond player
of the first half.
Of the first half.
Well, I could throw Hetty out there as having a better first half than Stamkos.
But I really wanted Stamkos to have it. I really wanted him. And by the way, shout out to Joe Smith. Did you read his column on Stamkos?
I did not. It's great. It's
very good stuff in there.
All right. Yeah, the Athletic is great. By the way, we had Greg Allman on the other day, and saw Joe in the elevator the other day. They do such great work covering local sports. They really, really do. Those two guys in particular. Do they have a dedicated writer for the Rays? They used to.
Not that I know of anymore.
Yeah. No. Anyway, but those two guys are fantastic. They do a great job. So check out the Athletic if you ever get a chance. And all right, you know what? We'll have co-players of the week. How about that? Stamkos and Hedman are Golden Diamond Source co-players of the week. All right, as we mentioned at the top, Doug Peterson gets the Jag job. Good luck with that. Good. I think he'll do a nice job. I really do. They need to get rid of the general manager, but that's a whole nother story. So which jobs do we have left? The Texans job is still open. Does anybody want that job? Who's the odds-on favorite for that now? I know Brian Flores is one of the
he's
finalists.
One of them. The other one I believe is Josh McCown, who I don't believe has any coaching experience.
If Josh McCown gets a job over,
jeez,
just burn it down, bro. Just burn it down. I mean, I should be laughing about it, but seriously, if that happens, come on, man. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Miami's still open, obviously. from the vacancy left open from Brian Flores.
I think the NFL would do, first of all, not that they should do this. Well, maybe I don't know. But Brian Flores needs to get a job in this cycle. He needs to. I don't care what lawsuit that he filed. I don't care what the legalities may be. He needs to get one of these jobs. And the Houston Texans job would probably be a good place to start.
By the way, he deserves it.
Yeah.
By the way, this
100%.
is not just saying, he needs to get it because of everything that went on. From an optics standpoint, it certainly would help the league, but I just think he deserves it at the end of the day.
And you've got, and of course, the Leftwich thing, we mentioned it earlier that, and I said this a few weeks ago, if not a month ago, that I think that they should seriously consider making Byron Leftwich the coach in waiting here, or making the transition right now. I mean, with Brady retiring, it would be probably the time to do it. If you're going to do it, because obviously Arians is only going to coach at least, at most one more year, right? I mean, especially with the his health issues this year, all the stuff going on, still going on with COVID. I mean, he's got to be at least, it's almost like if I'm his wife, it's like, what do you got left to prove? He's almost 70. Not that he hasn't done a great job. He's done a fantastic job, but one of his whole agendas here was to get these guys jobs, and why not let Byron Leftwich be the heir apparent right here? Either make him the coach in waiting for one more year, and as I mentioned, it would certainly help attract any other would-be quarterbacks and certainly free agents that would be coming here. So the Dolphins job is still open. And who are we looking at there? Brian Flores is the best candidate to take the job.
I honestly, that's the one that I haven't heard much going on with the Dolphins.
Who wants to go work for Stephen Ross right now?
That's what I'm saying. It's just a nightmare to go there. It's just a bad option. That in Houston.
Well, the Dolphins thing. If you look at it right now, if you're a head coach or a coordinator, do you really want to go there and work for Ross, given what he just did to Brian Flores? And also the other part is,
I take it back. I did see this morning. Mike McDaniel, the 49ers OC, and Kellen Moore are both getting interviews this week
for the Dolphins job.
For the Dolphins, I think they are the finalists up here. So
I hate labeling people, but at this point, it's just hard to it's hard to ignore. White OC, white OC, white OC. One right after another.
Hey, the favorite is to get the Patriots OC opening now?
Some white guy?
Adam Gase.
And there you go. It's just laughable at this point. But I think if you're the Dolphins franchise right now, with Stephen Ross coming out and being so declarative about Brian, calling Brian Flores a liar, I don't, how does that? If you're a black player on the Dolphins or coaching staff, or is there any question that he would even interview Byron Leftwich for that job? He should. Why not?
It's just not going to happen.
Why not?
You can answer the question.
Why not?
You can answer the question.
Well, okay, just more.
I was sitting here thinking, by the way, when we were talking about Leftwich to the Jags, and he wanted Adrian Wilson to be his GM, right, from the Cardinals.
Right.
Adrian Wilson's black.
That's right.
Did it ever cross anybody's mind that maybe Shad Khan didn't want, I got to have black GM and a black coach? God. I hate that I'm having to bring this up, but it's just I can't help but think that's where we're at, unfortunately.
How I don't understand what part of Trent Baalke's resume is making you cling so hard to this guy. You ran it down. It's a dumpster fire. Just like the hiring of Urban Meyer. And you get a coach that actually wants to come there, that other organizations are dying to get, and he wants to coach your team, and that's his demand, and you say no. Wow. That's interesting. All right, we'll take another break, and when we get back, the Olympics have started, in case you didn't know. And this is the most bizarre Olympics for so many reasons. We're going to run them all down. And when I was making this list, I was like, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. And this is what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks, or not see. The PGA PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. Well, it's never been more important to support each other and support local businesses like Italiano Insurance that has been around for over 60 years, serving our community with great customer service and also giving back to our locals in need. Their Metropolitan Ministries holiday food drive was another tremendous success this year. Why call a 1-800 number when you can call your trusted neighbors at Italiano Insurance who will save you money? In Boca Grande, 941-964-0400. That's 941-964-0400.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so you can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here from my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the second hour of the JP Peterson Show. Coming up at 11th, Kyle Tucker's going to join us. Go up here to the Tampa Bay area. Hit 30 home runs for the Houston Astros last year. Budding superstar. You'd never know it. One of the nicest young, unassuming players in the game. He will join us at 11:30. We'll talk about his journey to the big leagues and the future of baseball here in Tampa Bay and playing at the Trop, what that's like. Woohoo! Our second hour is brought to you by the Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care, personalized preventative medicine, proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. They will get you right. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff will take you a very personal approach. All you got to do is go to BAMMC.com and get more information there, or you can call 844-977-3477. All right. Well, the Olympics are underway. The opening ceremonies have happened. Beijing was the first city to host the winter and the summer games. Boy, the IOC really has a hard on for the Beijing people, don't they? It's almost like they get just showered with money to put the Olympics there. Well, maybe they do. And so this is becoming a huge propaganda opportunity for President Xi. And I thought it was very interesting. I read an article comparing and contrasting the 2008 Beijing games to what's going on this year in 2022. This year, there is a complete lockdown of all the athletes. They go to their events and their venues. All of the venues are cordoned off by chain link fences. They can't get out. They can't go visit any places if they wanted to go see or talk to the people or enjoy China in any way, shape, or form. It's just it's a very, of course, is all over the COVID lockdown situation that's going on in China, which, by the way, Johns Hopkins just came out with a huge study saying lockdowns don't work. So maybe it's just about controlling the people, you think, in China? No, I wouldn't do that, would they? And this is very much a very different Olympics. In 2008, there was talk of, the architect of the main stadium there was a Chinese dissident, and he was somewhat celebrated. That person is now in a jail as a political prisoner. The story of Peng Shuai, the tennis player who came out months ago and accused a high-ranking CCP official of sexual abuse. And of course, her statement on social media was quickly taken down. She disappeared, only to reappear in hostage videos. This is what's going on in China right now. We talk about the genocide that's happening with the Muslim Uyghurs in the western provinces of China. I mean, this is a very, very different place. It is a very controlled place. There's human rights abuses all over, and we're going to sit here and celebrate the Chinese culture for 2 weeks. And to me, it's completely disgusting. It's completely and utterly disgusting. There is no reason that the world should be legitimizing this regime that is on the brink of probably taking over Taiwan, free Taiwan, Hong Kong, and just imprisoning this mass population like they've been doing for quite some time. It's horrific. And to give them any legitimacy is, in my mind, completely disgusting. And that's what we're doing as a world, not just America.
And if you're the United States, and I think Australia, United Kingdom, there might be another country or two, and you're not going to send any diplomatic government to China for these games, but you're going to send the players and the athletes over.
Yeah.
what kind of message does that send?
Very mixed, number one. And also, you don't give a crap about the athletes.
And this is not, and what I'm about to say, this is not me taking a political stance by any means, but Pelosi, I saw that clip yesterday where she was urging people.
Do we have that audio?
I'll try to cue it up.
Yeah.
But I heard that clip yesterday of her urging the athletes not to speak out. And I just can't help but
isn't it crazy?
If we're having to go all these leaps and bounds to play the games for 2 weeks, then maybe we shouldn't be playing them.
You think?
There's just a hunch. I'm not as well versed in it maybe as you are, but that's just from an outsider's point of view.
Yeah, it's pretty basic, actually. Yeah. If you can't speak freely as an athlete in the place that you're competing because you're afraid of retribution, what the F are we doing there? What are we doing there? Yeah, okay, let's play this from Pelosi.
I would say to our athletes, you're there to compete.
Shut up.
Do not risk incurring the anger of the Chinese government because they are ruthless. I know there is a temptation on the part of some to speak out while they are there. I respect that. But I also worry about what the Chinese government might do to their reputations, to their families.
Wow. This is the Speaker of the House of the United States of America telling the athletes that are representing to shut up and dribble. You know what I mean? That's like, I can't believe I'm listening to that. And at the same time, she doesn't support a boycott of China because she's completely beholden to China. And we all know that. This is just stupid rhetoric. She's spewing out of her mouth, but doing nothing to back it up. She's the Speaker of the House, for God's sakes. If she thought the athletes were in such peril, why didn't she speak up about it before and do something? What if something happens to one of our athletes? Then what? And what if an athlete, for God's sakes, stands up on the podium and has some type of protest against the Chinese government? What are they going to do? Go arrest the athlete and whisk them away to where? An internment camp with the Uyghurs? Going to share a cell with Pen Shui? I mean, what the F is going on? You are saying that you're sending your athletes to a country. You're acknowledging this that is so ruthless that these athletes better watch what they say. We've even given our athletes separate phones because we don't want them to take their own phones and have their own personal information subject to whatever surveillance is going on, and told our athletes, don't put anything on your phone that might anger the Chinese government. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Just if you're an athlete, I don't know. I just can't imagine how you can even feel comfortable being there, let alone just having to compete on that stage and everybody watching and just looking around. And it's already a weird environment because is there no fans there? Are they still doing that?
Very few fans. And what's interesting, at last night's opening ceremony, when the team from Taiwan came out, there was a huge cheer from Chinese people. That sat very well with Mr. Xi. They're probably going to have video of anybody who cheered or clapped, and they'll soon be in these internment camps. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. This is how they do things in China, folks. And guess what? That's exactly what they want to do here in the United States of America.
And the larger issue here, and I don't know if this is off topic or not, but we talked about it a little bit yesterday off the air. I just can't comprehend that in the year 2022, in this world, the history that there is in every single continent, that we are still doing genocide.
Yeah, we're still doing genocide.
Doing this.
Yeah.
We're still
allowing genocide.
We talked about it yesterday off the air, and it was relevant to our conversation about the head coaches in the NFL, where try to process that in your lifetime, we still had separation of everything.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the context of these old white owners who grew up in America where there were separate bathrooms for whites and coloreds. I mean, that's the worldview that they grew up with. And I think it's one of the problems that we have because these old white owners, it seems like the young white owners, like the Glazers, don't have problems hiring black coaches. But these older white owners, like the Stephen Ross hired him, but hired him to fail, by the way, Brian Flores. Some of these, the McNairs, the other, they have issues. And I think that's where the issues lie. And that's not an excuse, by the way. I'm not excusing their behavior. I'm just saying this is their worldview that they continue to hold, which is disgusting. It's ridiculous. And to have a genocide going on, and and that not only do we not doing anything to stop it in any real way, we're celebrating the Chinese people. We're celebrating this government. We're allowing that government to infiltrate everything we do in America. Everything, our schools, our universities, we're allowing them to buy up farmland. We're allowing them to buy up all of our companies and steal our intellectual property. I mean, what are we doing again? What are we doing here? And by the way, what's going on in China? They have these anti-terrorism internment camps for anybody who disagrees with the regime. If you're caught, surfing anything on the internet that is not approved by the government, you'll be put in one of these internment camps. Your social score goes down, and you can't do certain things, or you could be put in an internment camp. Sounds a little bit like the folks that want the anti-vaxxers or people who won't take the vaccine to be put into an internment camp here in America, or these anti-terrorist quote initiatives from white supremacists that happen to be just people who voted for Trump to go into an internment camp. Whether you voted for him or not, you really shouldn't be for that. You really shouldn't be for that. That's what they're doing in China. And there's people actually talking about doing it here. And we're legitimizing China in these games. We're legitimizing the way they govern their people. And Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, is like, yeah, go ahead. You guys go over there, but don't say anything while you're there. And isn't it interesting that the only group that didn't go to the Olympics, who are they? The NHL players, because they have the wherewithal, they have the money that they can say no to these situations, where a lot of these other athletes, they don't. This is their only chance to make money and appear on a world stage, do the things for their advertisers that can bring them money. So they really don't have a choice whether to go or not. They kind of have to. Maybe some of the world-class alpine skiers could choose to not go because they have money. They don't really need to, but it is the absolute pinnacle of their sport. So they're almost forced to go as well. It's a horrible situation.
And I'm sure
it's a horrible situation to put our athletes in.
Yeah. And I'm sure once we get past all this and the games start, I mean, I'm not the most avid watcher of the Olympics, but I do prefer the winter to the summer. No doubt about that. I'm looking forward to some of the event. I like the figure skating. I'm a fan of the figure skating. The skiing.
I like the figure skating.
The skiing's very nice.
Skiing's awesome.
The skiing's awesome.
I love watching the downhill.
And I love the. Do they still do the snowboarding where I think they call it the pipe?
Yeah,
of
course.
Whatever?
Yeah, Shaun White's going to be competing. Absolutely. I guess I thought the last game was his last, but I guess he's coming back for this.
I
one too.
didn't even know he still existed.
Yeah,
Shaun
yeah.
White.
Yeah, he's coming back.
I enjoy that. It's a
Chloe
shame.
Kim is another.
I learned who that was yesterday.
Yeah, she's awesome. And how about this story? Eileen Gu, who's a freestyle skier, grows up in America, right? Born here, trains here, under all the U.S. Olympic Committee, using all U.S. taxpayer money and everything to train here, and all the advantages of the great facilities we have here. And then at the last minute decides, oh, my mom was born in China. I'm going to ski for China. I wonder how much money China gave her to do that so she can stand on top of the medal stand as a Chinese athlete, having grown up in America and enjoyed all the trappings of America and the great all the facilities and the doctors and the health, all the advantages of America. Oh, I'm for China now. Thanks for the $2 million that you paid me. This is how they do everything. They take the money from the trade and imbalance of America and they destroy America. And people are just like, oh, okay, that's fine. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. And these Olympics are just a big personification of what's going on with this country and how they're fooling the world. And it's disgusting that we're actually legitimizing it by participating in these games. And it sucks because I'm with you. I love the Olympics. I am a sucker for patriotism. I admit it. With discretion, obviously. I gotta be honest with you. It's taken a lot of it out for me. It really is. Like, I want to watch and I want to cheer for America, and I want these athletes. I want to see these great athletes do what they do. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, if I'm watching, I'm supporting this.
I think it's done. I don't look at it like that necessarily, but I think it's definitely hurt the marketing from it. Like, I had zero. I was seeing clips yesterday of some events at prelims, and I'm like, wait.
It has been muted. There's no doubt about that.
I'm like, wait, that's happening? And then
if you're not watching NC, you don't know anything about it.
I had no idea. I didn't even know the opening ceremonies were this morning.
ESPN is sending nobody.
Yeah, I had no idea, and I guess I understand why it's like that, but I guess I have maybe it's, when you're younger, you have a different view on the Olympics and remember it a different way. I don't remember it like this.
Right.
I just don't. I remember it being the biggest event, and I don't think it's like that. I'm curious to see what the ratings end up being on a lot of these events.
They'll be down. They'll
definitely be down, I figure.
Because I think a lot of the casual fans won't tune in. I think they're going to lose a lot of the casual fans.
I mean, I'm the most bummed because I love Olympic hockey, and this is
and that's a huge part of it. Not having Olympic hockey that's one of the main reasons I tuned in.
Yeah, I mean, in all respect to the guys who are there doing it, I know they had their first game last night. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. You don't have the NHL's best there, and knowing that now we're 8 years since the last time we had NHLers there, don't know when it's ever going to happen again.
Yeah,
that's the worst part for me.
I just can't believe, with all we know of what's happening in China and have known for the past few years, especially for God's sakes. China released this on the world on purpose and lied about everything. And we're sitting here blaming each other for things about COVID. China is the reason we have COVID because they lied to the world, and either intentionally or unintentionally, I happen to think intentionally, let it loose on the world. Why did they restrict at people traveling from Wuhan into China, but encourage them to go fly back and forth to Italy, where there was a huge, there's a huge back and forth of Chinese workers that work in northern Italy. That's how COVID originally spread. Plus, it just so happens that the military games were in Wuhan when this was let out. Shocking development. So all the athletes that were in Wuhan probably carried it to all their different military style, by the way, carried it to every other place in the unit. This is, by the way, this is not conspiracy stuff, folks. Go look it up. This is all real. It used to be conspiracy stuff until it was all proven true, right? And we're celebrating this country. It blows my mind, completely blows my mind. But that we could actually be doing this in real time, but away we go. I have to mention this. I think most people have seen this, but have you seen the meme about the bobsled? The American bobsled has been renamed Biden because
no, I did not see that.
Because nothing has gone downhill faster. And nothing has taken America downhill faster than Joe Biden. It's a good one. It's a really good one. Whether you like him or not, you gotta appreciate the humor on that. All right, so we'll be cheering for the bobsled team. When we come back, we will chat with Kyle Tucker from the Houston Astros. Grew up here locally in Tampa Bay. He's got a fundraiser coming up. And he's just a great story of success and a budding superstar in the league. So we'll chat with him next. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports. Damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. The second hour of the show presented by Bay Area Modern Medical Center in South Tampa. Go to BAMMC.com to find out more about those folks. All right, well, welcome in a nice young gentleman I had a chance to play golf with last week, Kyle Tucker. He was the fifth overall pick of the 2015 draft out of Plant High School here locally in Tampa. What's up, Kyle Tucker? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and thanks so much for coming on the show. For those of you who don't know, last year, Kyle, in his first real full season, getting 500 at-bats, only hit 30 home runs. It had 92 bombs and actually got some MVP votes as well. So he is a budding superstar. His only real lack of judgment, I would have to say, was committing to the University of Florida. But luckily, he never attended that place, so we can have him on the show here because we know how much we love our Knowles. Kyle, how you doing, partner? And how's the offseason going for you? I know you're working hard.
Yeah, it's going well. Earlier today I had a nice little workout, grabbed some lunch. But yeah, it's going well. Got a lot of things going on. But overall, it's going pretty well. We're excited for, hopefully get the season underway and get it going.
Yeah, explain to people what you do in this so-called off season. You were explaining your workouts the other day, and this is what you guys do in the off season, which I find pretty incredible. Describe your usual workout day.
Yeah, so everyone kind of does their own routine in the off season, depending on what they really need to do to get prepared for the year. We've played 8-9 months out of the season, so whatever you need to do it. Make sure you're good to go. But yeah, I typically off season starts. Just take a couple weeks off and go on the beach and just hang out with family and whatnot. Kind of just like lay low and relax from the long year, and then I start working out. Pretty much go every day during the week, roughly, in the mornings, and then just grab lunch after and kind of do whatever else I need to do throughout the day. But I mean, it's such a long season that it's good to get some type of downtime and relaxation after the year, because you don't get much, during the spring, summer, and going into the fall. You're pretty much field every day work, so it's nice to have a little break after that, and then after that, get it going to prepare for your next season to have a good one.
Well, Kyle, so many people around here know you, and they've watched you grow up here locally through the ranks. Talk a little bit about that, what like growing up here and playing. I believe you played in Palmacia or Tampa Bay Little League. You guys went on and played in World Series, all kinds of stuff. What was it like growing up? Take us through the baseball journey for yourself to get to playing high school. Then we'll talk about that.
Yeah, it was great. I played, Little League over at Tampa Bay Little League, and I played a little bit at Palmacia. So I had a great time with that. I'm still friends with a lot of guys that I played with, when I was in Little League, when I was younger. So, it's always great that, being in Tampa, I feel like everyone's, pretty close to each other. Somehow someone knows you through, a friend or family. But, it was a lot of fun. Then, I did travel ball a little bit up until high school, probably like in middle school, I started doing travel ball a little bit. And then high school and had a lot of fun with that my 4 years at Plant. And, the program over there with Dennis Braun, he really helped me out, really learning the game and how it's supposed to be played to get me prepared to either play in college if that was an option, or get drafted, or he's really good at it because he knows not everyone's good at playing at the next level, so he tries to prepare you even if you're not going to do that as well. So I had a lot of fun growing up here in Tampa, and I still live here. This is home for me, so I really enjoy it.
Hey, just run down some of the players you grew up with playing, and start with your older brother Preston, who is also drafted highly. What's he up to? Jake Woodford, your Plant teammate. It's so many that are in the league. Probably every day you go to the yard, you probably know somebody on the other team, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's a lot of guys that either grew up in Tampa or now live in Tampa to like work out in the off season.
Yeah.
That either play in the minor leagues or play in the big leagues, or play overseas. Like my brother last about 2.5 years. He was over in South Korea playing. And before that, he was in the big leagues, had some time in big leagues with the Astros, Braves. I think he played like a week in Cincinnati. But yeah, he's had a long journey. He's enjoying it. It's got to be pretty adventurous, and he's a free agent right now, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, and I also with the high school, grew up playing with Jake Woodford, who's with the Cardinals. Connor Scott, who I played with 1 year. He was a freshman when I was a senior in high school at Plant. I still work out with him in the morning. I saw him earlier today. But he's playing. You got Mike Givens, played with my brother in high school. He's a free agent right now, so we'll see with that. But yeah, there's a lot of guys around the Tampa area that are pretty strong in the baseball community, and whether they grew up here or now moved here, there's a lot of guys around here that play baseball and have a strong connection with each other.
Kyle Tucker joining us, the 2015 High School Player of the Year for Baseball America, Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Florida. What do you think Tampa Bay produces so many great players? Is it the coaching? Is it just the level of competition is so good it brings everybody up? The weather obviously certainly doesn't hurt, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that. I think region has a lot of people that play baseball, especially since like we play year round since it's so warm here, like in the winter or whatnot. Guys are able to go play travel ball. Living north where it's snowing, you can't really play baseball. So I think that has a lot to do with it because you can play baseball basically year round down here. So I think a lot of people, gravitate to, this region of, the States to play baseball. They'll either move here, their parents will move here and have kids play. And, a lot of coaches come down here and they know baseball a lot. And then, all the guys in, pro ball come down here because they're able to do baseball stuff in the wintertime to get prepared for the season. So I think it's a combination of, just the weather in the region that we're in. So you're able to play year round and work on stuff. And also a lot of people come down here because of that know baseball. So there's a lot of coaching that helps out younger kids growing up. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a hot spot for baseball. I mean, also with other sports, but there's a lot going on down here.
Kyle Tucker joining us here. I'm going to embarrass you right now. I'm going to read your bio here from Wikipedia. It's unbelievable, really. Tucker reached career highs in nearly every offensive category, batting .294, .359, .557, .917, with 37 doubles, 30 home runs, 92 RBIs, 14 stolen bases. You're that fast? You're so big. 282 total bases, 147 OPS, which is really good, by the way. 9th in the AL in batting, 3rd in slugging percentage in OPS, 5th in doubles in OPS plus, 10th in wins above replacement, 5.7 WAR. That's all-star level. Named Gold Glove finalist in right field with plus 11 defensive runs saved. Announced as a finalist for the Silver Slugger Award, which you won. To receive first selection as a Sporting News AL All-Star at outfield and the All-MLB second team. Not too shabby for a first season, bro. Were you surprised? I mean, I hate the question like, were you surprised by your success? But I mean, were you? I mean, wow, that's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of coaches and players help me out along the way, so that definitely helped. But I know what level I can play at, and I can do it well. So the people around me to support me and help me reach that potential definitely helps. That was a big part of this year, especially. Had a lot of people to help me out, whether it was defensively or offensively or just like mentally playing that long, because I've never really played a 162 game season before. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was exciting. It was a good year. So I mean, yeah, can't complain too much with those.
Yeah, that was pretty damn good. Hey, what do you? I don't know what you're hearing, but obviously there's a lockout going on right now. There's federal mediation coming in. What is your sense on? I think you're going to play the season, but probably be a little bit delayed. What's your sense on when you guys are going to get back?
Yeah, so yesterday I believe came out. MLB wanted to do the federal mediation way of going about it. I mean, we're willing to negotiate and try to get this thing done, every single day. Obviously we want to be out there playing and start on time so, fans can come out and, have a normal season and, not worry about whether they're either going to miss a season or get like a month or two, without games. But, we're definitely trying to get it done as fast as possible and, be as reasonable as possible. Because at the end of the day, both sides want the game to continue and work together. It's just, it's a lot to go through and discuss, to get all the details finalized.
Right.
So hopefully we'll get that done as soon as possible. So, I mean, we got spring training coming up here pretty soon. So, the thought is to have it done, have normal spring training and a normal season, but you kind of got to see how it all plays out. And, I know we're willing to go out there and negotiate every single day to try and get it done and see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Players. I know the players want to play. No question about that. Kyle Tucker joining us here, member of the Astros, grew up here in Tampa Bay. How do you like playing at the Trop on that wonderful turf? Feels good. Feels good after you're done playing in the outfield there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels great. Yeah, playing on turf, it's different than on grass. I know. I don't know how football does it. They got a lot of turf, but yeah, playing on turf is definitely harder on your legs. Even though, like, I feel like as a fan in perspective, you just see the field and like they're just out there playing and stuff.
Yeah.
But as a player, like at the end of the day, like I take my cleats off and I sit down in my locker after a game on like a turf field. I'm just like, bro, I can not get up right now to go like eat or shower or anything. Like,
wow.
My legs are killing me.
Why is that? Do you think just because it's so spongy, or it's just different?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, typically, we're not out there on turf every single day for 3-4 hours running around, playing at a high level. And just over time, that kind of wears on you, wears on the body. So, luckily I don't have to worry about that too much at Minute Maid because we got, just grass out there, which is not. But yeah, it's always nice coming back to Tampa just because, this is home for me. I get to see all my family and friends and come to the game. So I'll wear it playing on turf for a couple days if I get that.
What was it like playing in the Trop in the playoffs with all your friends and family here? Was that pretty cool?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Obviously playing baseball, I don't get to go there and watch games very often. Go there once a year, maybe. But it was definitely a lot of fun. I mean, playoffs in general are really fun to play in and be a part of. But coming back home in Tampa and having everyone just be able to just drive over the bridge to St. Pete and watch a playoff game that I'm in is pretty special.
Well, I'm not going to ask you if you want to play here at the Trop because I know you don't. But if we were to get a new stadium, say we could pick up Minute Maid and drop it right in Ybor City, that would be pretty cool. I mean, you grew up here. Do you think that if there was a new stadium in downtown Tampa, it would be much better supported, and you'd probably like to see it with some natural grass? I would imagine.
For me, I would prefer it be, in Tampa just because it's a lot closer to where I live. But yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot that goes behind, but like building a new stadium, getting all the stuff with the city and all the negotiating contract stuff. But it would be cool to kind of maybe get like a fresh stadium or whatever it may be. But I know they got like a 30-year lease or something over in St. Pete.
Yeah, it's up in 27. Yeah, something like that.
So I don't know all the details with their contracts or whatnot, but I mean, I'm always open for like new stadiums. I know, the Braves got one a couple of years ago. Their new stadium looks great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so I know we're doing some stuff I think around the Houston, like downtown, kind of maybe somewhat similar to what the Braves kind of have with the like surrounding areas. So I mean, they end up doing that in Tampa. I think it'd be great, both for the players and the fans.
Yeah,
but if not, we'll see what happens.
You're so diplomatic, and you know how I feel about it. It'd be much better. But hey, let's talk about your fundraiser you got coming up at Top Golf Fund Super Sunday for hospice care. Tell me a little bit about the fundraiser and then why hospice care is near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, so we got a Top Golf coming up Super Bowl Sunday. It's earlier in the day, so everyone's able to go, still go watch the game.
Yep.
But it should be a fun event. It's from 11 to 2, I believe. Yeah, 11 to 2. So it should be fun. We got an auction, bunch of memorabilia stuff. Got a bunch of stuff signed from players and whatnot, bunch of pictures and stuff. So, we got food. You get to play golf for a couple hours. Should be a lot of fun. We got a bunch of bays already sold. So, but yeah, we're, my foundation, this is something we've been talking about for a little while now. And, last year, my grandfather ended up going into hospice care and ended up passing away there. So that's kind of the background of why we wanted to do hospice, because in hospice care, I didn't know this beforehand because, I've never had to deal with it.
Right.
But hospice care, so there's they do for-profit and non-profit hospice care, and basically the for-profit one, they just kind of bill the Medicare, like the insurance. But depending on what the patient has and whatnot, that only covers it'll cover either everything or only most things or only certain things, because you have to cover the room that the patient's in, the medications, and like the services that they all provide. But whatever is not taken care of through Medicare is covered through either foundations or grants or donations that people donate towards hospice care. So that way patients and the families don't really have to pay attention to any of the financial details, because that's all taken care of. Because during that time period in a person's life or a family's life, they really shouldn't have to worry about all the financial stuff that goes behind that. So that's kind of what my foundation's kind of supporting, because like I said, you really shouldn't have to worry about the money and financial part in that time of a life. So we're just here to support that. We'll work with the hospitals and the hospice care sections in Tampa and in Houston. So I'll try and do like some fundraisers like an off season when I'm back home in Tampa. That way we can do stuff here in Tampa, and then we'll figure out something to do in Houston during the season as well. So it's kind of like a little overview of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a great cause. It really, really is, and I know it's near and dear to your heart. And where can people go to get involved? Do you have a website?
Yeah, so if you go on our website, it's the KyleTuckerFoundation.org. You can go on there. We'll have there's an about page, which is kind of a quick little overview of what our foundation's about and why we started it. It has our events page of right now we just have our event at Golf on there. We have our mailing list. You can donate on there as well, and we'll add stuff to it as our foundation kind of grows. But yeah, you can just go to KyleTuckerFoundation.org and look at a bunch of stuff on there.
Well, and I highly encourage everybody to do that. KyleTuckerFoundation.org. We'll put it up on all our social media so you guys can link to it. Join the fundraiser. It's going to be so fun. Top Super Sunday early in the morning. You get up. This will start your day, and then watch the Super Bowl for a great cause as well. And if I may say this on a personal note, as wonderful, unassuming, hardworking young baseball players you will ever find, if you ever want to support somebody locally doing great things, Kyle Tucker is one of the guys to support. So go meet him, get involved with this foundation, have a good time, and support a great cause in hospice care. Kyle, really appreciate you taking the time, man, and all you do here locally. It was great fun playing golf with you, watching you hit 330-yard drives. Put my little, my little 280, 290s to shame, man. God, the club head speed. Yeah. I know how that goes, buddy. And you hit plenty of them straight, by the way. And it's great to be playing I've never played from some of those positions. So when you're playing a shamble like we were, it was great to be 100 yards out on par fives. It was fun. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your time. And unfortunately, I won't be able to attend the foundation. I'll be at the Super Bowl, but I would highly recommend everybody else does. Thanks, partner.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it for having me.
All right, Kyle Tucker right there. All right, we'll take a final quick break here. We'll come back and wrap things up with the latest news of the day. A couple of notes to get to you as far as NFL hirings and wrap up the show. Stay with us. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discrete treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. Second hour of the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Go to BAMMC.com to find out more about their modern and groundbreaking healthcare initiatives that can help you. All right, I was looking at this picture of Tom Brady walking off the field for the last time, and we all said, it sure didn't look like he was leaving for the last time, but it was, and we were there to witness it. Well, almost an amazing comeback, but now the Bucs look ahead to who their next quarterback will be. You know that it is all hands on deck right now. You know, the Matthew Stafford trade happened this week last year. So to think that something might not happen very fast is very doable, very doable. And I think the Bucs are very much involved in all of their different options. You know, everybody knows I'm all in on the Russell Wilson option, but we'll see what comes down. I don't think there's any news out there regarding that, except the fact that the Bucs are looking at all their options.
Yeah, just read a column while we were doing the show today from Scott Reynolds at Pewter Report, and he was making the case for Blaine Gabbert. And had a lot of support there. I have to dive in and look at the numbers and the stuff that he put in there. But
Blaine Gabbert.
But he's making the case for Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask and maybe staying in-house. So all options are clearly on the table.
I mean, that retains all your draft picks. I think the template that Brady has created and the Rams followed that has worked 2 years in a row is one that I think really deserves merit. There's long been this thought in the NFL that draft picks are sacred. You know, you got to have your draft picks. And obviously, you know, in the salary cap era, you know, you got to have cheap labor. You got to have a lot of guys on rookie contracts to maximize the talent on your team. But I think this template, especially when you're a good team and you want to stay good, and you've got to, and that's the thing, this roster is still good. And if you can get a superlative quarterback like Russell Wilson, I'll mortgage some of the future of draft picks who you never know what they're going to turn out to be. I mean, when you look back on some deals that you didn't do and you drafted this guy or you drafted this guy, or you look at teams that given away, 2-3 first-round picks. I mean, look at the Rams. They've given away 4 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey and Matthew Stafford. And here they are in a Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years. It's hard to argue with that.
They're going to go 7 years without having a first-round pick. They haven't had one yet under Sean
And they're
McVay.
probably going to win a Super Bowl. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. And they'll have been in a Super Bowl and been competitive every year. I like that besides the 14 years the Bucs spent of losing records trying to find a starting quarterback.
I do.
And there's no, Blaine Gabbert, really?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to, because you can, on the flip side, look at the Bengals. They drafted, and there they are. There's more than one way, but
that's right.
It's hard to argue what the Rams have done. And if you're the Bucs and you have a roster that's similar to the Rams in that it's ready to compete for a Super Bowl, you got to get aggressive. You got to get aggressive as you watch these guys run here.
Micah Parsons beat Tyreek Hill didn't even run.
He was barely running.
He's barely running.
He was barely running.
So I mean, there's a lot of ways to skin the cat. There's no doubt about it. But Joe Burrows don't come along all the time. They're really, really hard to find. Look at all the number one draft picks that don't pan out. And first time we've ever had two quarterbacks that were number one overall picks in Matthew Stafford. So a lot of ways to skin a cat. But I'll have to dive into that with Scott when we have him on next week. May have some debate on that topic. All right, big thanks to Kyle Tucker. Go to KyleTuckerFoundation.org and for his fundraiser on Super Bowl Sunday. It's going to be great and a great young athlete to support, folks. Love that young man. Good job, Nick Ennis, as always. We will be at Super Bowl next week. Monday show will be here, and then we'll be out there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So join us for Super Bowl week next week. See you then.